Hello, welcome. This is the Daily Dharma. My name is Dina. Thank you so much for joining. So today I have brought my cards over into my session room. We do still have the pole barn wide open to the elements, so my apologies if you do hear any road noise or wildlife noises. Let's take a moment to cleanse and purify this space. I've already been kicking the sage this morning. It's just some white sage from my stores. And I've taken a little bit of time to lay out some cards from the shamanic deck, and we'll go ahead and be clarifying with the code card deck, Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle, and also the Return of Spirit deck, and tack on some additional oracles for clarification at the end. So, beginning the reading today, we have 59, Wailing Tree, reconciliations at the bottom. Several things were stepping out to me, so whether or not this has to do with some type of reconciliation within a relationship, I'm sensing that this is more to do with reconciling. If you don't know what cognitive dissonance is, it's just when heart and mind are in a bit of conflict, and it can be anywhere from very subtle and almost easily overlooked into complete feelings of being either stuck or being completely confused and disconnected from one situation. So the last few days we've been getting some imagery of the watcher being pushed through this portal, through the face of the sun, having something to do with ancestral legacy and overcoming some type of long-standing cycle that we may have been either conditioned into or born into, something of that nature. And so with the reconciliations, it seems to me some long-standing situation that has been working out through one's energy field. However, even though I was seeing the resonance with the emotional upheaval in this card, I was also, as I laid out more cards, we've got dead center. I'm going to skip to the center. Sky Bridge, possibility for union, 47. And if you can see how the bridge leads through the sun being the portal, that I saw yourself potentially having already made it through the portal of this solar storm in your life, this integration point, this convergence point of awakening to the various earthly guides, guardians, and animal kingdom, mineral kingdoms, all of this Akashic and ancestral heritage and cosmic heritage coming online within oneself and awakening to your magic and any types of situations or individuals that have perhaps delayed or gotten in between ourselves and our process. And that's always a situation with the self. But I'm seeing this as somebody who wants to maintain connection with you, wanting to almost follow you through the face of the sun, having seen you graduate in this way, seeming somewhat intimidating, that you've grasped so much of your magic and power and potential, and they're seeing you graduate and being fearful of being left behind. It seems almost that there's this calcification point of their DNA, because we've got this wailing tree here, and just beyond Sky Bridge we have Tree of Life. So you can see how this one's rigid and this one's twisting. So Boy, let me see where to begin. I hope that I'm doing this justice. So I'm seeing this individual wanting to come through and have these energetic downloads as well, and to be able to release what doesn't serve them from their conditioned upbringing, socialization process, etc., and that they're having quite an issue here, and whether they're coming across as unaffected or withdrawn or anything else, I'm sensing it has quite a bit to do with either abandonment, rejection, or of fear of losing you, I feel at the basis. So this could be somebody in your family, because we're talking about the tree of life here, the somebody who, I mean, for some, don't take it if it doesn't resonate, but for some this almost appears as an older feminine within the tree, but for many it will not be that. Don't get caught up on gender and age, but it seems like somebody's almost kind of, forgive the making light of this situation, but it seems like somebody's almost brought to their knees in this dramatic display of, I can't do it without you, like in a theater production, where somebody is really playing it up. I'm seeing a mushroom suddenly in the corner of the Wailing Tree card. So this may be somebody who is also checking out in fairyland, whether that's some type of magical thinking, avoidant behavior or thought, or addictive comfort seeking behaviors over here. But there's a lot of fire and aggression and stress and tension in that card coming through. So second card out, I was sensing that this was actually where you were at. So it's almost here. Look at this. I'm going to show you the first several. So we've got that Wailing Tree, and then you over here with Me Talks, repairing body, mind, and spirit. And then Hunter card I'm seeing as an aspect of perhaps this Wailing Tree, or it could be a partnership that's coming in, whether that's romantic or partnership on some type of a purpose-filled adventure, somebody that you're going and doing things with. So with the Me Talks card, I'm sensing that you're like no longer overdoing or trying to do someone's healing for them, but you're also not cutting them off. You're not, well, perhaps, I mean, whatever feels good for you. But in this story, the way it's being shown to me is that by not even removing yourself from the situation physically, although it looks to me that you are taking sacred space time here to really repair and to shut everybody else out that's making demands, I'm sensing that even in the moment, your emotional and energetic state in the face of these displays and dramatics is, you're solid here. You've gotten back into the waters after the sun, and they're kind of standing poised with their hand on this doorknob in the hallway where the sun is burning. It's like, how do you walk on fiery embers where you don't just stand there until your skin feels it? You would go swiftly across. I mean, I would assume, right? Maybe I'm wrong on that. So moving here to the Me Talks, it's as though you're really incorporating your magic. And there's a dragon on the tub. I didn't see this before. Again, as we've talked about many times, this is Year of the Dragon, 2024, the Chinese lunar year, right after Hunter. What the Hunter's looking at is this dragon's hoard protecting the future. So having you in this space, but also not being rejecting in the moment, just being self driven and self protective here and doing your own self maintenance. To me, this the other day was coming through as there's been enough time where several individuals have been feeling the word bereft or frustrated has been coming through when we feel that someone else has not done the thing that we were expecting them to do, that we wanted support with. And then there's the potential of then withdrawing something that we were offering. So there's this mutual withdrawing, or there's this idea that as we then do the thing that we've been waiting for someone else to do for us, then they can do the thing that they've been waiting for us to do for them. This is symbolic and a good practice when we are leaving behind little remaining tethers to cycles of old codependency, which can be coming through with, as I referenced, those fairyland addiction or comfort or distraction energies here. When we're able to chop our own wood, carry our own water, and care for our own body and create with our own magical essence, this is really where we come out the other side of that portal. And I will be skipping around, I guess. On the second line, Sky Dancer, Surrender. And this card we were seeing in the Watchers transpersonal card recently at the top of the mountain. Someone was shedding some type of costuming that was obscuring their light body, some type of shell that no longer served. And this was part of that sunrise event where then the dragonfly light winged light body was coming through. And so here we have this. All right, lay down, Cole, good boy. We've got this dragonfly type energy here, butterfly energy, speaking of the metamorphosis on the other side of the sun. And so here you are dancing, singing, creating, being magical. And yeah, there's a lot of frequency, whether that's sound, light, emotional, energetic, there's healing, there's cleansing, all of this. And you're just dancing and singing over here on the other side of the sun. And this appears to be the possibility that this individual's looking at you, taking care of yourself and being this strong, magical being and saying, well, that's the 48. If I'm at the 47 Sky Bridge, then why don't I just try to cross this bridge and cleanse and clear and do for myself and practice really doing it for myself so that I have that sense of healthy self-pride, so that I'm not, don't leave me. It's like, oh, okay, I am solid on my own. Let's enjoy our time together. And if you have other things going, then we'll get back together later when it works. You know, this detached Aquarian energy from that Capricorn attachment devil energy in the tarot. So after this Sky Bridge, as we already checked out, look at all the little butterflies, moths, and things at the base of this tree. It's like a little fairy energy dancing around at the base of this tree. And I'm, whether it's with this individual that's potentially being dramatic, there is someone here with the potential of connecting very deeply with, and this very well could for some of you be in a family dynamic or in the creation of families, such as in intimate partnerships, where then there's the potential to have children of your own. Even the leaves of the trees are comprised of all of these butterfly shapes. So with the twisting tree, it's almost like entangled DNA, taking the choice point to mix and mingle DNA here. It could be some form of higher commitment. So, coming back to whether or not this wailing tree is the hunter or not, the hunter to me is potentially this individual or another individual that has more of a fearless conqueror's attitude, or maybe having come out of feeling um, surprised or shocked by this graduation point that you seem to have accomplished with flying colors here. Flying colors. Okay. Yeah, that transformation of chakra. This hunter energy seems somebody who's gotten this. I see this wheel of fortune, chariots wheel over here. I've got these animal totems. They're that timekeeper energy from a few days back that was blowing behind our backs and encouraging us to gather our strength, gather our protective nature, to gather the courage and strength from the earthly realms and beyond into our person, so that we can go the distance to create this adventurous journey across that sky bridge through the face of the sun and come out on the other side with us. It's like the possibility for union lies in everyone's hands, in that we each have to do for ourselves at this junction point. So I bring up hunter again because then next comes the gatherer. I've got this little bitty fly in here, a little bitty fruit fly or something. I don't know. So gatherer talks a lot about the harvest, preparing for the harvest. Okay, I'm really discombobulating all my cards, exposing both mindful groupthink, which may be the resistance, and then I've got this lay of the land ancestral wisdom on the top of that one. There's the accomplishment point that came out the other day, talking about us having this celebration point on the other side. This point of surrender and accomplishment here seems to be this release of this vibrational emanation from the throat chakra being created, and then overflow, overwhelming plenty came out. It's this wailing tree on one side and the overflow on the other side is in the moment reminding me of one of my first recognized mediumship experiences. Was when one of my uncle died, and then his mother, my maternal grandmother, and then years later, my mother. And when my grandmother passed, this message came through. I was grieving, crying, and this message came through so precisely. It was something about, I'm at peace now, and that if I had only known the beauty and the glory and the complete release of all things related to fear and ego, and just had made this transition right at the beginning of the release of body into spirit, if I had only known how beautiful it was and how true this magic was, then I would have never spent so much of my life being closed off. So the top of the underneath of the deck here is 35, the medicine wheel. And look at all of these animals here. One of them, the hummingbird, does for me, if you did not hear this previously, represents my mother in spirit. And so it's talking about part of the directional compass that comes through watching and witnessing the lives and choices of others, and utilizing that in such a way that allows us to gather experience from all of those and to choose our destiny, to choose our harvest wisely, and also the seeds that we plant and the way that we tend them. And in fact, I was seeing something on her hand here. There's a ring that may be important to somebody, maybe an ancestral, belonged to someone important, or something that it could have even come out of some kind of vending machine, but it poses some importance to someone here. Anyways, and feathers as well, feathers on your journey, being surrounded by the animal kingdom and by angelics and fairies. It's like we're being delighted to check back into our senses and sensibilities. So one thing I also wanted to catch was this hunter and the gatherer. It's this resurgence of tiny houses and permaculture and doing the most that you can possibly harvest on quarter acre, 1 acre, 3 acres, 10 acres, whatever these people's idea is. There's this idea of doing that with our lives as well, even if we're not on the team cultivation. There's a lot of hunting and gathering that goes on in the energetic realms, within the self, within the becoming process of self. And at the end here, we have 44, the sacrifice, another butterfly being released. It's like if you love something, you have to be willing to let it go. And if I'm going to butcher this again, if it's meant to be, it will come back to you. Yeah, that detachment here. And perhaps this is also having something to do with the literal death process, letting go of ancestors, letting go of promises that will not be kept. There's something here about protecting our future investments, our future manifestation here. I'm sensing that this me tax card is manifesting from your magical self here. And thank you for sneezing on me. Dragon's Horde, protecting the future. It's as though we're being guided, guarded, and protected here. Oh, and beneath the medicine wheel is the sacred contract, covenant 7. And below that, upper world. My dog needs me. Yes, we'll go. Just a second. Just a second. You gonna wait? Let's just get us a couple of code cards before we close out and let Cole do what he needs to do. He's got important things to do. I know. So this one wants to pop out. Change. Yes, there is definitely a change here. It's a change of being. It's like there's some type of critical turning point having been accomplished here where you can rest assured that something has been changed for the better. If you are releasing someone who's had this transition from their physical body into light, you can rest assured that you will potentially still have these dramatic feelings arising, but if you can also utilize this in such a way to make the absolute best for your situation with that meditation, envisioning how you can embody your fullness and the universal life force and that light force energy here and now, and to this possibility for union. It's like if this is the to do with a literal death, for instance, it's like there's the possibility for us to meditatively journey through the face of the sun without leaving this world for good. And so with vision questing, through meditation, through trusting, through signs and synchronicities delivered through nature itself, and all of those experiences can come in and start to speak to us, and they will be speaking through those situations. So connect with your deeper soul in that way. And anything else through this union with the tree of life here. You're continuing some legacy. You're securing your own legacy. And someone is definitely looking over, making sure that you're on the right track, trying to assist. There we have prosperity. You're hunting some prosperity here. Dragon's horde, protecting the future. It's like your future legacy here, gathering resources, making the difficult choices now, sacrificing perhaps time or what's that called? Immediate comfort, and for the end point of delayed gratification, you know, as in saving your pennies now so that further down the line you have tens of dollars to spend on something, or saving your tens of dollars so that ultimately you have hundreds, and then in time those hundreds become thousands and so on. But I would urge you to also not restrict yourself and not live your life to the fullest. There are many adventures that can be had and love that can be shared without breaking the bank or without even bringing the bank into the equation. So anything further here? Just saying to enjoy life in the way that feels good to you. Delight in a way that feels good to you. So yes, there is this delightful change in prosperity coming in that has been showing up quite a bit recently, but it will take discernment. That sacrifice card, sacrifice doesn't have to be all terrible. Universal love, third eye chakra underneath here. Use your intuition and be a beacon of love and light. Last night I heard an individual while we were training speaking to another to encourage him, and he was talking about how mad that they should be because of all the dieting that they had to do and that they couldn't eat cereal with their kid because they were training. And I thought that was a silly and interesting way to speak about sacrifice, and he was letting it rile him up and getting him upset because it's this guy's fault that you haven't had your cereal with your kid. I still join my daughter while she's having her morning cereal, and I don't let that be too much of an influence. If a habit is good, it's good for a life change, and it's something that we can actually engage in a way that's like, I'm not doing this to sacrifice. I'm doing this because what I really want is on the other side of the sun. Confidently bring in these changes and don't become distracted by what seems uncomfortable at first, that cognitive dissonance of, does it feel good? Do I feel challenged? Is it mind and heart together? If they're on opposite poles, recognize where and how to bring them back into balance. What is the choice that you're making? Are you making it so that you're going to be unhappy? Of course not. You're making these choices because you believe in the making of this choice that something good will happen. Nobody chooses to go backwards on purpose, I don't believe. So this is how to resolve this so that it doesn't become dramatic, so that it seems as it is a manifestation of our magic, and being able to intuitively, instinctively recognize, is today a cheat day, or is today a day where I'm going to have confidence in the delightful manifestation of what I'm calling in: health, well-being, happiness, courage, prosperity. What is changing? We're putting something back into the right order, whether okay, so I say weather, but it seems as though this is on the physical plane, but that the precursor to seeing the delightful changes that we're really wanting to call in is getting the mind and the heart right, as far as connecting them by repairing mind, body, spirit, and surrendering to the process of our upliftment, the process of our regeneration. The medicine wheel talks about being committed with that sacred contract to cleansing, clearing, and repairing, to honor the self, to respect the self first and foremost. So if you're feeling disregarded, somehow outcast or undervalued, there's something within that needs more attention to from us to be brought back into the right order. And once your house is in order, these things either will fade away from showing you or showing up for you, or they'll stop impacting you in the same way, and you'll be able to just redirect your attention appropriately in the moment. Recognition still on the bottom of the deck. Okay, we're at the end of the video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you made it this far. Must be something you're interested in. So birthing a new reality. And we had this whole spill out happening here. Let's just take a peek. The one that fell on the ground is knowledge. This looks like that activation, golden light code activation in the butterfly birthing on the crown chakra here. And let's just hear a little bit more about it. Manifest from your power. You are very gifted. You're leveling up vibrationally, and spirit is returning to your life through music, which keeps coming up. So we'll go ahead and give you a glance at that. So manifest, manifest, manifest. And there's that chakra activation, that light bridge, the sky bridge. That's that yellow color here is that solar plexus energy fueled by knowledge, wisdom, by allowing the light being to speak through us and to us. Let your personality shine. You are surrounded by prosperity. Your attention is being drawn to the infinite nature of reality. That which exists outside the known is beyond measure. So you are connected to this abundance of spirit, the return of spirit, and your awareness of their presence is really powering you through this next leg of the journey. So encourage people to meet you there. Don't meet them back down at the bottom. Take good care of yourself and check back again real soon for more messages. I really appreciate you guys sticking with it and joining in the comments section and starting a sense of community here and getting the message out to those who are looking for it. So see you again next time.